My name is Abby, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you 3 different things to help you shift your perspective if you're currently feeling rejected or if you've been rejected and are having a really hard time with it. Everyone experiences rejection to a certain degree. However, I'm talking about the ones that stop you in your tracks, where it feels like your heart is literally breaking in your bodies. I believe understanding these 3 different things I'm going to tell you, it will help you to take your power back and start moving towards the life that you really want. So let's get started. Well, for one, I want to send you love. If you're watching this video because you're currently hurting a lot, I want you to know that you're loved, you're wonderful, and my goal by the end of this video is to help show you the truth of yourself, because really what's happening is it's a misunderstanding and it's a distortion. Yes, sometimes when people leave or they're not interested in what we want, it can hurt. However, this video is specifically about those heart-crushing, soul-crushing, just pain in your chest. I know in my experiences where I've had past rejection, it felt like a part of me was physically dying. So that's where this is aimed for specifically. So if that's you, let's go in. Let's go in for a hug. Okay, a little bit better, maybe just a little bit better. The first thing I want to go over is what value or meaning are you placing on that other person? Because if I have them, then I can feel loved. If I have them, then I'm whole and complete, right? You got to start getting aware that what's happening is, this is what I call it eel, okay? And it goes like this. Early on, when you're a little kid, you are literally dependent on your caregivers to meet your needs. Physically, your survival depends on another person meeting your needs. Physical safety, emotional connection, all of it. Now, if you got stuck and you never developed, you never told you're wonderful for who you are, you never had the autonomy because you had to maintain a connection, maybe you were a parentified child, meaning that you had to take care of your parents emotionally, or given jobs or situations that were inappropriate for a child, or if you learned that if you were you would get rejected, so you had to be somebody else, or you had to allow your boundaries to be crossed, even emotionally, right? What you needed is different than how you could show up to get your needs met. Well, what that basically shows you is that you have to check in with the other person, so then you'll be okay. So then you'll have your needs met, because without them, you'll get 0, okay? So I call this my big acronym, emotional echolocation. What the hell does that mean? That means just as a dolphin sends out a sound so they understand where they are in relation to their space, you are sending out emotionally and checking in with this other person, modeling that early on dynamic from childhood, because your safety depends on it. And then if that's okay, then you're okay. So if you've been rejected, if that person says, hey, I'm not interested, or I've got to go, or whatever the situation, what that's saying is, this is no longer possible. You're checking in and they're saying no. So then what do you get back? You get back 0. So part of the intensity of pain and emotional, chaos inside, and again, I just said earlier how when it happened to me, I felt like my physical body part of me was dying or gonna die. And if you think about, remember how I said that early on our physical body depends on being accepted by our caretaker? So part of me in my brain was like, oh no, I might die. Am I dying? Am I okay physically, right? A lot of different things can happen when we're in panic, when we feel highly unsafe. So if your sense of safety is dependent on this person unconsciously, and they're like no longer able to do this and you can't get the return, then you might feel, oh my God, they've rejected me, now I'm unsafe. So starting to take a look at this for yourself, am I placing my sense of safety and stability in that person? If they don't accept me, if they've rejected me, oh no, now I'm vulnerable, now I'm not safe. So that's part 1. Now the second thing is going to be about, is that a pattern? When you were growing up, did you have a sense that this person wasn't emotionally available? Maybe your caretaker was really busy. Maybe they were focused on other things. In some way were they emotionally distracted? They weren't there for you, right? So you're used to this feeling of rejection. You go to them, but there's a wall. So as a kid, you could have perceived it to be, okay, well, I'm not enough as I am. So maybe if I can prove that they should accept me, that they should love me, or that I'm worth it, then I'll get that. I'll break the wall down, and that's how I'll get the connection. And again, because you were a kid then, you didn't have very many options because you were basically under their supervision. You know, your safety depended on it. So if you have this pattern from childhood, and again, this could look a lot of different ways. So this is when you got to really be a detective to yourself and investigate, what do I know? Okay, maybe you had a non-chaotic house. It could have been the silent things, the things you didn't get from your caretaker, from your parent. Did you feel a certain sense of rejection when they loved you this way, but when you did this other thing, they're kind of like, and so you felt rejected. Oh no, I can't do that. Oh gosh. So you have this sense of when I'm fully me, then I get rejected. So you take this same pattern, and this was early on, it was one time your family, easily you could interject a romantic partner or even friends, right? Because this is relational trauma. The closer you are with somebody, it could be a friend, it could be romantic partner, it's going to push on that early on emotional, relational trauma. So start to ask yourself, is this a pattern? Because the intensity of pain, and I know that it's so painful, I honestly wish that I could hug each and every single person watching this, but know that the potential of that pain, part of it could be that early on pain that you felt a long time ago. And this is bringing it up. So it's kind of a messenger. So if you can start to understand, oh yeah, I do remember, oh my God, I didn't feel accepted. I felt rejected and I kept trying to be good. I kept trying to do these things so that they'd love me. Oh, this is a similar dynamic. And it's not to say it doesn't still hurt with the current person or whatever's happening current day. However, maybe 50% is about your family. Maybe it's 70%. The more you can actually put the focus on where that original pain is, the more it'll take the pain off of something that you might feel powerless to. Because think of it too, you probably felt powerless if this is something that's resonating when you were a kid. You were trying really hard and there was nothing else you could do. You just had to take it because you were a kid. So starting to look at it this way can really help you take your power back and realize maybe part of you that's calling out and asking you to heal this wound. Now, the third thing that I want you to take into consideration if you're really feeling that sense of painful rejection is the idea that part of this pain that you're feeling is in some parts self-abandonment. Let me explain what I mean. So if you are saying, and again, the reason I know all of these examples is because that's what I've done in my past. That is the lens that I was looking through for so many years until I became aware of it. And when I was aware, I could make a new choice in the moment. I had the option, which that is where the power comes from in these situations. When you start to expand your lens and realize, okay, what else could be happening here? How can I bring that energy back to me so that I can make the best decision towards the life I'm wanting to create? So this other one is self-abandonment, and that is looking like, for me personally, I'd be so focused on, does this person like me? Do they accept me? Who do I need to be? Can I fix something for you? Can I be a hero? How can I show up for you so that you'll like me? So when you're doing that, when I was doing that, all the attention is about this other person. So really, energetically, what I did is I left myself. You could call that self-abandonment, self-neglect. Now, this isn't to shame or blame you. It's saying, oh my God, for me personally, I made that mistake so many times in my life, and it was so painful because all my marbles were in this one situation. I needed them to say yes so I could get this back. I could get something back so then I could actually feel like a person. My misunderstanding was this. I had to learn to stay with myself, and that would look like this. Feeling safe to fully be me and knowing that they cannot give me something I don't already have within me. And specifically, it came about love. I was so desperate to get them to love me because I was confused, thinking I didn't have a source of it on my own. That was so painful to not understand that I have my own source of love. And when I started to realize that, I became less and less and less dependent. And I was able to say, oh, okay, well, what is good for me in this moment? Is this something actually that is positive for me? I was never able to ask those questions when I thought, okay, my source of love is them. My source of validation is them, right? So as you start to realize, what if it were true that as I tap into my own feeling of love, that love exists within you. You not understanding that now is okay, and it doesn't mean that you don't have love within you. And I'm not saying go have 100 cats and live on a hill because you got all the love you need. I'm saying that in order to have a reflection of a full heart, right, filled with love, you'll have to be it first. This person will not magically fill your heart. No one outside of you can do that. As you start to tap into those energies within you, then you can get a reflection of that and they can help you amplify it, but they will never be the source of it. So if part of the reason of this rejection being so difficult and painful and something you feel like you can't move on from, understandable with these situations. Because if you feel like this person is your source of love, no wonder it becomes so important and so desperate and so needy, right? You have needs, and not understanding how you get them and using old coping mechanisms is what creates neediness. There's an urgency. I can't get it on my own. I need it from you now. Please, please love me. These are all my energies that I've done in the past. So I want you to understand this so you can take your power back and realize what you really need and potentially what meaning or labels you're putting on this person. Did it come from your past? Is it a familiar dynamic? Are you checking in with them so that you can feel safe? As you start to understand what you need more, you'll be able to pull back and give yourself that comfort and not be so reliant on what they may or may not do. The more you understand about yourself, the more you can actually meet your own needs and then create the space to have your needs met by other people as well. You are worthy. You are deserving. Whatever's happening in your life right now, if you can understand that it can be a tool to help you understand yourself more so that you can make the best decision for yourself at that moment and realize everything is always within you. If you have a feeling of powerlessness that, oh no, this person's going to do this thing and I'm not going to get what I want, step back and realize, okay, what's going on? Does this come from an old dynamic? When did I feel powerless before? How can I take that energy back, tend to that wound so that I can authentically be myself and be loved for it? Understanding what's really going on with your perception of rejection is vital. And this next video right here is going to help you understand if you're particularly needy, why that's happening, and most importantly, how you can take your power back and no longer be needy again. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like it if you liked it and join this community if you haven't already. I love y'all and I'll see you on the next one.